Well, glory be and mercy me, we've done it yet again. Here we are, daily graveyard walk. It's a beautiful, beautiful day today. Spring has sprung. I hope it keeps getting better and better and better. It'd be lovely. So, taking a look at today's polling data, looks like Doug Ford heading towards a majority election win in this election. And boy howdy, does that ever tell you everything you need to know about conservative or neoliberal brain rot, frankly. Look, there's a really, really basic thing that is happening in our society that you have to confront and you have to talk about. We have this idea in our head that, oh, the way to save money is to reduce government spending, right? The way to save money is to reduce government spending. But this is an awful lot like saying the way to save money is to stop doing repairs on your car, right? Like, what do you think would happen if you stopped taking your car in for checkups? If you stopped getting those tires rotated and you stopped actually making sure that people were changing the oil, right? Stop making sure that all that kind of stuff would happen. What do you think would happen to your car, right? And then when your engine explodes, right? When your car falls apart, how much do you think that's going to cost you, right? What do you think that's going to do to your society? So here's a real case in point for what's gone on in our society. So there are homeless people, right? Well, why are there homeless people? Well, because there's no jobs, right? They can't actually, the wage doesn't pay the rent anymore, right? So people are getting dumped out of the back end of this. The conservative solution to this is, well, they should just get jobs. But this is the brain rot that we're talking about. There aren't any jobs, right? Certainly not any jobs that are paying the rent, which is going through the roof, right? Why is the rent going through the roof? Well, because the housing is getting hoarded, right? And who's hoarding the housing? Oh, the billionaire class, who vote conservative, right? I want you to vote conservative too. So there's a detachment going on. So then it gets even worse, right? So you've got these homeless people, and we've done the studies, we've figured it out. You know what the cheapest, most effective way to deal with people who are homeless is? Give them homes. And but John, there isn't enough supply. Of course there is, right? For every homeless person, there's like 3 empty houses, right? So they're just hoarded by a billionaire class. So you take the house from the billionaire who's hoarding it, and you give it to the homeless person. Mission accomplished. You've done it. And the only person who loses out is the psycho. So who cares? But that's not what we're doing, right? That's not what we're doing. So what we're doing is instead we're saying to the person who is homeless on the street, well, what we're going to do is we're going to throw cops at you. We're going to beat you over the head like happened here in Toronto, right? And we've done the number crunching on this, right? Get them chased out. We've done the number crunching on this. To chase those homeless people out of the parks the way that we did cost the city $20,000 a head, right? So instead of taking the $20,000 that we used to throw cops at them and simply give it to the homeless person to get them to secure housing, secure rent, secure anything meaningful, right? Subsidize the billionaire class at least, right? No, instead of that, we threw it at them to beat them over the head with it. And the conservative mindset has fallen into this absurdist cyclical pattern of brain rot. Where, so for example, the question is, why should I pay for someone else's X? Let's say garbage collection. Why should I pay for someone else's garbage collection? This is the line that conservatives use because they think it's smart, but it's actually extremely stupid, right? It's entirely selfish, and on top of that, self-destructive and moronic. Why should I pay for someone else's garbage collection? Well, because lots of people can't pay for garbage collection, right? There's lots of poor people in the society, especially after this neoliberal grift has been perpetuated against us. The extreme wealth inequality, where there are people who are wealthier than the ancient pharaohs walking around the society. Where did they get that wealth from? Oh, from the rest of the people who do all the work, while the billionaire class does nothing important whatsoever. So why should I pay for someone else's garbage collection? Because the people who can't pay for garbage collection still generate garbage. You understand? And so what you end up with is streets full of garbage. Well, then we should fine those people. This is always the conservative solution. We should fine those people, right? We should punish them, right? Can't use the carrot, gotta be the stick every single time. Violence is always the answer for the conservative, in the conservative mindset. Makes sense given their genocidal warmongering ways, right? But when you actually put this into paper, you realize, just like it cost us to clear out the encampments in the park, cops cost money, right? Legislators cost money. Judges cost money. It costs money to fine people. And then when you actually do the nuts and bolts of it, you realize that, it actually costs more money to fine people, right? And of course, they're poor already. They can't pay those fines, right? And so you need to do other things, right? Jail them, for example, which again, costs money, right? And when you do all the nuts and bolts of it, you figure it all out, you realize, we're actually spending more money fining these people than it would cost to just pay for the garbage collection in the first place. And what's so hilarious about the fine system is that, guess what? The streets are still full of garbage. So not only are your streets full of garbage, right? But you're also paying more to fine people who can't pay for garbage collection. And the streets still end up full of garbage anyway, right? So your taxes go through the roof and you don't get what you want. And this is how conservatives actually genuinely think. And this is true of education. This is true of every system that exists in the society. This is true of climate change. This is true of everything. As a side note and a reminder to everybody, Doug Ford, one of the first things that he did outside of destroying the basic income pilot that was here in Ontario was eliminating 700 climate change programs. So when the wildfires sweep through the cities, you know who to blame. The absurdity of this conservative mindset, and you can see it writ large in a man like Doug Ford, who commits austerity against the public. Austerity, a failed religious ideology that has nothing to do with economics whatsoever. Because it says on the face of it, the way to save money is to lose money. The way to grow an economy is to destroy an economy, right? That fundamentally what the Austrians are attempting to do is just be parasites in an economic system. That if the money's not being made by me, a private investor, then it's not worthwhile at all. Doesn't matter if the outcomes are good for the society. Doesn't matter if everything's positive for the society. No, what matters is that a worthless, psychotic parasite that does no work whatsoever makes all the money. And you can see how this is working in the long-term care homes, right? Mike Harris, former conservative premier, privatized a lot of the long-term care homes here. Well, during COVID, things were so desperate, we had to send the military in. And the military came out and said, yeah, these private long-term care homes are full of bugs, abandoned old people who can't get food or water, right? It's a desperate situation for them. And you know what Doug Ford's solution to all this was? Nothing important. We're just gonna make more of them, right? Because he sees the grift. He understands that, well, when I leave office, I wanna sit on the board of directors of one of these and make a bunch of money from the suffering of these old people, right? What do you expect from a drug dealer who beats his wife, right? Like a college dropout loser who doesn't know anything about anything. And this is who conservatives are supporting. This is who conservatives are rallying around and who they think is good. And so we really do have to start asking ourselves, how did we get to this situation where conservatives are saying we want to save money for ourselves, but are actually willing to spend more money in order to inflict suffering on others. And the only solution that I can come up with is that the suffering is the point. That is something that conservatives genuinely want. They don't want to live in a society full of ease. They don't want to live in a society where everything is going well. They don't want peace. That's not what they're interested in. They want to inflict suffering on others. They want to hurt other people. They view that as a positive and as something that is worth their money and worth their time. And if they were to come up to a system that was actually making things easier for people, that was actually making things better for people, well, what they would do is they would dismantle it so that they could beat the shit out of the people and create victims of them. This is the conservative mindset, and this is what we're voting for here in Ontario, right? And we're just gonna keep doing it, it looks like. And of course, the NDP and the Liberals are about as weak as they could possibly be. Like, the Liberals are literally offering like $1 increase to minimum wage while rents are going through the roof, right? The NDP are offering nothing, near as I can tell, right? There's literally no offer on the table to actually help anyone at all. And the result is, well, if the choice is between somebody who's doing nothing and somebody who at least lies about doing stuff, which is what Doug Ford does, well, most people will just go with the lie, right? That's the Canadian ethos. We witnessed the decline of our society in real time, and a re-election of an absolute grifter who lied about literally everything in order to destroy and dismantle the society, boy howdy. Does that tell you everything you need to know? All right, guys, this is the end of this video. Like, share, subscribe. The leftists have been chased out of the conversation, right? There's no leftists on panel discussions. Nobody's actually talking, allowing the leftists to join the conversation. We get censored, we get sent out, right? So please support leftists. Please consider, got my Patreon down below. Live stream 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come on in. And always remember, guys, you are a quantum being walking around in quantum energy. The billionaire class are spending hundreds of billions of dollars to make sure that you don't realize it and stay the good little commodity that they need you to be. Revolt, rebel, repent. Good luck. We're gonna need it.